couple of days ago, I made a video that showed a bunch of angry people wearing masks going in front of Tucker Carlson house and yelling things like, Tucker Carlson, we will fight. We know where you sleep at night. And I waited a couple of days to see how the press reacts to this. I mean, Tucker Carlson is a journalist, and it seems that there are people who go in front of his house in order to intimidate a journalist. Like, this is abhorrent, unheard of. And apparently, when you look at the mainstream media today, you find out that Tucker Carlson is a bad man. I hope he goes to prison. Now, can we talk about the matter at hand? Can we talk about the issue with people threatening journalists? I thought it's a problem. The attack on the mainstream media is what they call it. Is this not something important? Now, I'm not part of the Amerikansky crew. I'm not an American, but I know a little bit of history about America, and I understand that there used to be another group of people in the past that would wear masks, and they would go in front of people's houses trying to intimidate them and run them out of town. I don't remember what that group was called. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I think it was also run by the Democrats. They started it, didn't they? And now, a couple of years later, we see the same things, except they're not dressed like spooky ghosts. They're dressed like ISIS. Yeah, very interesting. So, how did the internet react? Well, it depends where you go. Like, if you go on random forums, you will see a bunch of leftists going like, "Oh, is this activism?" No, it's not. It's terrorism. That is the difference. They're there to terrorize. That's what they do. They want to use threats of violence in order to intimidate the person and to push a political message. In this case, the political message is no borders, no USA at all. Very, very interesting message, right? Very anarcho-communistic, if you will. A lot of the mainstream media who cover this refuse to name the fact that they're Antifa! Isn't that fascinating? Isn't it interesting? So, whenever you get like right-wing extremism, they're like, Nazi. Far right. The moment you get the left doing it, they're not communists. They're not Antifa. No. They are protesters, activists, anti-hate, anti-protesters, like anything else. Like, the journalist is lifting the rug and is like, putting all the dirt under it, hoping no one will notice. Just take the L. They're far left communists. Just do it. Say it. No, you can't say it, right? Oh my God. No, seriously, like I looked through article after article. Everyone was like, oh, they're anarchists. Oh, they're this. Oh, they're that. No. Okay, they're not anarcho-capitalists. They're not those anarcho-environmentalists. No, seriously, there are those things. No. Anarcho-communists on the left. Your side. Eh? They constantly push guilt by association, so therefore it's like, oh no, their side is pure, innocent, like a little angel. It's even ridiculous that I'm saying journalists have a side. Jesus. Like I grew up with the idea that journalists are objective. Boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I in for a hit of reality. So anyway, let's see what happened. Apparently this group, Smash Racism DC, you can tell it's a leftist group by the childish name it has. Like, they all have these very kindergarten-like names, like something that kindergartners could come up with. It's like, stand up against hate, the platform hate, smash racism. It's just, oh my God. Anyway, so they call themselves anti-fascist. And I need to say it like that because then the algorithm doesn't catch the word. The moment they catch that I'm saying anti-fascism, demonetized, bam. I'm probably going to get demonetized just because I'm saying Tucker Carlson. That seems to be another keyword. But anyway, so they claimed responsibility for this little outdoor gathering. And they also decided to dox Tucker Carlson on Twitter. And apparently, eventually, like Jack Dorsey said, oh, okay, fine, I'll block the account. Maybe, like threatening journalists. Not so nice. They also have a really good repertoire of targeting Ted Cruz, Kirsten Nielsen, and other right-wing figures, as this journal calls them. Their account hasn't been taken off until now. Honestly, any other group that would target the left, like if you'd have like a right-wing group targeting Maxine Waters, immediately taken out of Twitter. Just bam. Like the moment it's happening, while it's happening, I would bet, while it's happening, they would be taken off Twitter. It is surprisingly that this lasted for so long. But anyway, I guess when you roll leftist, you get some invulnerability. Like this is the trait, the bloodline of the left. Resistance from getting kicked out of social media. Like whenever you do some shit in real life that's bad, Jack Dorsey rolls a d20. On 10 or lower, you get to stay on social media. So apparently they went to his house, and a lot of people say you can't cock the talk. Well, apparently you can cock his wife, because that's the person they terrorized. Tucker Carlson wasn't at home, his wife was at home, and apparently she was a little bit frightened to have a mob of people threatening with violence and talking about mailing booms. Booms. Again, I need to say this in this way so I don't get demonetized, okay? Booms. You know what I mean, right? Like Atomic Bomberman. Huh? You played that game, right? That's what they're talking about. Mailing booms. And one of them apparently unhinged the door. Now, a lot of people on Twitter were confused, like, is this free speech? And for me, it's bewildering. It's such a simple concept to understand, this free speech thing. But the left just can't seem to get it. Look, the Fus Roda spell hasn't been invented yet, right? So when a door becomes unhinged, even if it wouldn't be under threats, which you're doing right now, when you unhinge the door, okay, you can't do that with the vocal power, so there was action committed. Like someone was spooked. Okay, I can't come to your house, kick it open, and then say, oh, that's free speech. God damn it, it's not that of a difficult concept to grasp. Okay, it's speech. Speech doesn't have the power to unhinge words. We don't have spells in this world yet. Oh, Dios mío. Also, it wasn't anything that Tucker said, apparently. Like, they didn't name a thing that he said. No, it's his existence. Like, in general, the fact that he exists pissed them off. And decided to terrorize his wife. Very feminist of them. Now, let's see the reactions. We got Matthew Iglesias. Now, Matthew Iglesias is a prominent person, a prominent editor from Vox, okay? A fellow journalist. And he gives us a very hot take. I think the idea behind terrorizing his family, like it or not as a strategy, is to make them feel some of the fear that the victims of MAGA-inspired violence feel thanks to the non-stop racial incitement coming from Tucker, Trump, etc. Listen, Eggman with 4 eyes. You like this principle? Like, is this a country you would like to live in, where if someone disagrees with their politics, they will send a gang in front of your house? I mean, you do understand you're creating a principle here, right? Because if it's okay for them to do it, then it would also be okay for Tucker's fans who don't like the fear that his family experience would go over to your house and start terrorizing your wife and using Fus Roda on your door. But of course, lucky for you, there are people like me who are sensible and would disavow that shit. So you need to be very thankful that you live in an America where there are people like me who find this act abhorrent. And as such, there are laws against it. And the police will arrest these people. In fact, yes, the police opened a criminal investigation, thank God. But then Eggman continued, I agree that this is probably not tactically sound. Probably. Like, maybe it is, but probably it's not. There is some wiggle room there. But if your instinct is to empathize with the fear of the Carlson family rather than with the fear of his victims, name me the victim. Who did Tucker Carlson terrorize? When did Tucker Carlson went to someone's door and Fus Roda that shit? Jesus. Then you should take a moment to reflect on why that is. Yeah, I will reflect why that is. It's not a good precedent. I don't want it to happen to your family. I notice you have a beautiful little daughter there. I want her to be safe. Am I a piece of shit? Apparently, according to you, yes, I am. Now, luckily, this guy had the common sense, the common decency to delete the tweets. However, from Russia Today, of all places, I find out about this, because they managed to archive. The internet is forever, Matthew. You may delete the tweet, but the shame remains. Shame. And shame on Vox, because they probably taught you this. I'm going to force my kid to watch the female Ghostbusters every time the name Vox comes in a conversation. I want my kid to be traumatized, to get PTSD, so that when he grows up, he stays away from your publication. And that's good parenting. He will thank me later. You look at the Vox building, what do you see? Gravel, sand, Windows and communism. Here's a hot take from Oliver Willis, writer of Shara Blue, publishes books on Amazon. Tucker Carlson, on a nearly daily basis, uses his platform to push for white supremacy. Is this what he is doing? Okay, now I know. Which involves the liquidation and death of non-white people in America. So save the topo. How many people did he... Name me one. Name me a victim that suffered from Tucker Carlson. Is he using power word kill? Is he using power word death from Fox News? Then don't watch it. Stop watching it. Close the channel. Oh my, do you have this ability? Reach for the remote and press that friggin' red button. Oh, Dios mío. No, people are watching it and they're getting killed because Tucker Carlson is speaking from his podium of death at Fox News. Sexy Spider Jerusalem. And you can see that this guy has a mental illness because he keeps forgetting his pronouns every single time, so he has to write them down so he doesn't forget. Okay, so let's see what Alzheimer's Spider has to say. 12 people were slaughtered in a bar last night, not long after the White House falsified evidence to strip a private citizen of First Amendment rights. Thoughts and prayers for Tucker's children and their multi-million-dollar inheritance from grandpa. Listen, you leftist, I know communists can't grasp how the law works, how economic works, and how society functions, but let me try to explain you. There isn't like one police section with a single policeman in it that can only tackle one crime at a time. No, like just because 12 people were slaughtered doesn't mean that the police can't have people to go in and investigate that crime and also arrest the people that are chanting in front of Tucker Carlson's house and fusrodaing his door, right? They can both be tackled at the same time and you can both care about both of these issues. Also, what does it have to do with the fact that Tucker is rich? Like, can you please tell me the amount of money I shouldn't go over? Because apparently, according to you, if I bypass a special number, then it's okay for bad things to happen to me. Like, how much is it? $500,000? $1 million? Like, tell me on. And not only that, but even the kids are bad because, the inheritance, horrible. Jesus Christ, blood money from the grandpa, inheritance. They inherited evil. Okay, but maybe Tucker Carlson should dispute via racism on national television. What the fuck is this? Gary Legum. Who? Writer for hire. Worked at Salon, Wonket, Daily Beast, Alternet, and McSweeney's. I don't know if it's a man or a woman. Chat, please let me know. It doesn't have the pronouns. What do I do now? How can I... Oh, I know. Hold on. Message. Are you a boy or a girl? He came back to me. He's fucking triggered. That's what he is. Okay, but maybe Tucker Carlson should dispute via racism on national television to an audience of millions 5 nights a week. Or maybe you should start supporting terrorist organizations. How about that? Can we have that deal? Look what you did. You made me say terrorism. Now this is demonetized. Fuck you. Honestly, I can't believe this ideology. Like, if Carlson does something illegal, okay, he's going to be arrested. Nothing he did is illegal. But yet you are justifying illegal activity done to him? I bet, like, you want this to become a principle, don't you? So you can whine about, so you can be a victim. Because, like, this is the thing. If you constantly justify it, eventually the opponents are going to do it, you moron. And you're going to justify this type of activity where if you disagree with someone who's against your politics, you're going to get a group of mass people in front of your house, kicking the door in, terrifying your wife. Or your husband, just in case you're gay. You know what? I would like to think you're gay, because then I have some representation going on. I noticed that every single show that comes up on TV now needs to have that gay character. So Gary, I don't know if you are or not, but I will think you are. I will think you are a gay man, just so that I can feel that I represent everyone of the blue checkmarks here. Danielle Ryan, writer on Russia Today. Geez, conservatives who supported Trump's child separation policy at the border seem to be really worried about Tucker Carlson's children. Heartwarming. No, bitch, they worried about you as well, okay? This is unacceptable. Imagine if the right-wingers would send mobs of people at your house, okay? This is the problem. This is not about politics. This is about criminal activity that needs to be stomped before it gets larger. This is what it is. It doesn't matter if the left does it. It doesn't matter if the right does it. The problem is the activity in itself. Honestly, like if they would have murdered Tucker Carlson, right? The issue would have been the murder, not the fact that he deserves it. It doesn't even matter if he would deserve it, okay? This is not how justice is done. This is not how the law works. This is not how a civilized society functions. I can't believe I have to explain this. This is like the third time I explained it. Gee, what is going on? This is America, the land of the free, the one with the hawk and the Uncle Sam, right? And you have an army of blue check marks on the Twitter justifying what just went on. And I haven't even got through half of them. Kush, given that you don't think blackface was racist, I can see why you don't understand why people would protest Tucker's crypto-Nazi Carlson. Okay, you know what? You're a Nazi, Kush. I think you're a Nazi. That's what I think. So therefore you deserve protests. See? It's not violence, it's protests in your sick little twisted mind. In what world is this protest? How can this be called protest? Please explain to me. And if it's protest, why are the cops opening a criminal investigation into it? Jesus. Like, the only violence that I would like is to pick up a law book and start slamming you with it until you memorize it. This is illegal, Kosh. You're supporting illegal activity on the Twitter. Be more responsible, please, in the future. Ben David. I was kicked off Twitter for 24 hours because I said I hope Sarah Sanders gets terminal diarrhea. Do you see how upset I am? Like, I can't even say Twitter anymore. I actually say Twitter. You know shit is serious when I say Twitter. Lesson learned, Jack. I hope press secretary gets terminal diarrhea. Oh, wow. What a mature individual. Let's see his opinion about this issue. Imagine being so disconnected from reality inside your bubble that you think Tucker isn't a villain. It's irrelevant what you think about Tucker. I don't even care. I legitimately don't care. He can be a serial murderer for all I care. This is not justified, okay? This is illegal. You don't do this, okay? And not to mention, like, what the fuck is it with this word? It's a villain. Are you in 5th grade? Are you watching superhero movies? Are you reading comic books? What is this shit? Villain. Grow the fuck up, okay? And understand the fact that you wouldn't like it if it was done to you. Jesus, I keep repeating myself. But with these people, oh my god. The blue checkmark mafia. Ooh. Noah Berlatsky. Tucker Carlson find vulnerable people. Okay, no. See, I need to stop. I genuinely need to stop. I need explanation. Okay? Please, anyone in the chat, if it happens that you are a little bit more to the right than me, like you're a little bit left to Hitler. You know who I'm talking about, that gentleman with the mustache. Please explain to me how this is also not a white supremacist ideology. How the far left doesn't believe in white supremacy. I mean, they think that all people of color, like all non-white people, the rest of the world, is vulnerable. They're inferior, right? Because they're not as powerful as the white devil. No, they're vulnerable. The only difference between them and someone like Hitler is that Hitler also acknowledges that white people are more powerful and thus they should take their rightful place on the throne. But the other gentlemen think, well, everyone else is vulnerable and the white person who's more powerful needs to help them up. But they agree with the fact that the white devil is superior. How can like no one just have their noggin jogging in the university where they teach this bullshit and say, well, hold on a little bit. If everyone that's not white is vulnerable, doesn't that make white people a little bit stronger? Isn't this white supremacy? Like, am I being wrong here? Please explain to me. I want a legitimate explanation. Not like, oh, my horseshoe theory. No. Pull that out of your head. I know I put it in there and it's living rent-free, but pull it out and explain to me, why is this ideology not considering the white devil to be superior? Anyway, rant over. So, Tucker Carlson finds vulnerable people and uses his massive platform to encourage harassment and death threats that can go on for weeks or months or more. Citation needed! The fuck? Like, that would be illegal. He would be arrested if that was the case. I don't follow his every single show, but I did watch some clips of his. I never seen him do that. And if you did, well, congratulations, now you can get him locked up. He spreads conspiracy theories in order to justify hate and violence. Has Megyn Kelly complained about that? Yeah, I know Tucker Carlson always talks about them UFOs. You know, he always talks about the X-Files and how his sister was kidnapped by aliens. Yeah, I watch that every single night. But not only that, this gentleman seems to be baffled. Like, Twitter can suspend people who protest against Carlson, but not Tucker Carlson? What the fuck? There are no words. Like there is absolutely nothing I can say to this point to make this funny. Okay, like this is funny by itself. Like just nothing I can say can ridiculize this any further. Congratulations, Noah, you took my job. You know, I'm just going to leave and you can take the mic. You make things far more ridiculous than I ever can. I believe that Tucker Carlson can be held responsible for inciting racist and anti-Semitic violence. It's possible, given Tucker, that this story is exaggerated. However, even really terrible, guilty people should not be punished by terrorizing their partners and children. You know what? Like, if I would have started with Elizabeth, I would have tear her a new one, figuratively. Right? I would have been blah, blah, blah. But after reading through all of these, how should I even call them? So that I don't get demonetized. These gentlemen, right? She's the most sensible one of the bunch. Like, congratulations, Elizabeth. You're like that fat woman who manages to look good in a picture just because she sits next to other fatter women. So when you look at it, it's like, you know, like if I have to choose, counter argument. Tucker Carlson deserves it. And so much more besides. How many blows, Ron? How many blows? Tell me. How many blows to the head does it take for people to think like you? Like, what part of an ideology do you need to be to think that it's okay to terrorize a woman in her own home? And war on the press. War on the press. Tucker Carlson is a journalist. All he did was to perform his job. And apparently, he deserves to have his wife and kids terrorized because he had the audacity to have a different opinion. Seriously, how many blows to the head do you require in order to justify this type of thinking? Joshua Albert. Every blood-sucking media attacking head upset about people protesting at Tucker fucking Mr. White Supremacy Carlson's house should also have their homes visited by protesters. I can't do it anymore. Fuck this shit. My blood pressure, it's going off the scales. My lungs, I can't feel my lungs. I scream too much. Too much. All of the neighbors know what the fuck I'm talking about here. This is just unrealistic. Look, I grew up through socialism. Okay? I suffered the horrors of communism. When I was 4 years old, I got pneumonia because it was too cold in the house. It was minus 30 degrees outside and there was no heating inside. Alright? Like, I remember staying with my grandma at the fucking bread lines. That happened to me, right? And I'm looking at America, the land of the free, and people encouraging anarcho-communism. And they think it's good. You know what? I legitimately think that communism is great. No, I changed my mind. I said this on another video. I changed my mind. I think every nation in the world needs to get 20 years of communism. 20 years, that's it. No more, no less. And after those 20 years, it will be like a vaccine. They will not want it ever, ever again. Why do you think Eastern Europe doesn't believe in this stupid ideology? Why do you think Poland doesn't buy into this shit? Why do you think Hungary scares away from it? Because they suffer through it. Like, if you look at Poland, they don't want Nazism and they don't want communism. Just two things. These two things. They hate it. They absolutely hate it. And they recognize it when they see it. Oh, no borders, the nation, no deportations. Workers of the world unite. Fuck off. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you appreciated the humor that I managed to portray here. Now, if you excuse me, I need to drink something because my throat is dying. I hope you enjoy my channel, and if you like it, please subscribe and consider visiting my livestream channel where I just played Dungeons and Dragons with university professor Christy Winters. Good shit. Check it out.